How do I describe myself? I would say a good Samaritan or a generous being. I'm just bluffing. All of this describes me though and many more. I have an active belief on the value placed on human lives. I practice its cause in order to improve the conditions of humanity for moral, altruistic, and logical reasons. And honorably, I'm a woman who embraces the concept of caring as my highest calling. The Women of Valor was founded to advance the well-being of women in the society, and the main generalization and assumption is that historically and culturally, women have been socialized to fill subordinate and restricted roles. Now, these stereotypes about women persist in most social settings, strongly and even decisive influences in the values of both women and men. We believe the involvement and innovative programs oriented by the women of valor to lead new experiences and in a more meaningful pattern through heightening the awareness to a more expansive commitment and empowerment. We believe womanhood is set for a positive change. True research, 51.6% of Marylanders are women and girls, 49% of the state workforce are women, 20.5% Maryland women experience rape in their lifetime, and 29.1% of single female headed houses live in poverty. 69% of Maryland domestic violence victims are women, while Maryland's women's social and economic status indicates staggering analysis. To capture these factors, it is evident that economic growth without investment in human development is unsustainable and unethical. It is also said that a modern society is built upon two things: truth, which is discovered, and innovation, which is created, which highlights that love and work are the cornerstones of our humanness. To advance the well-being of our communities and the society as a licensed charity and non-governmental organization, we need a mobilized help to provide a better means of effecting personal and social change. I believe changes are products of intensive efforts, and through testimonials, we have recorded hundreds of families from our social impact. And to do more and effectively change lives to help women gain control over capital and rise out of poverty, we need your support to use time creatively in the knowledge that the time is always right to do that which is right. I invite you to rise up and demand changes for our fellow humans. If I'm to ask you, what are you doing for others? While you're thinking about that, I invite you to collaborate with our team at the Women of Valor today. Learn more about us and the plans on becoming a partner. To work for the common good is your greatest creed. Give a little, help a lot. My name is Teniola. I founded the Women of Valor to advance the well-being of the female gender.
Everyone, you all look beautiful. I'm so excited to be here this morning. So, why are you here? You are here because you want to make a difference. You are here because you have decided and chosen to step out of yourselves for a moment and to focus on the well-being of others. I truly believe that you are here because you want to change the world, and that is a big vision. And I just want to take a moment for you to acknowledge that. Acknowledge what you're doing this morning. And I don't want you to acknowledge that out of a proud, better than other people kind of way. No. I want us to start from a place of gratitude this morning. We are grateful for the opportunity to be alive this morning. Given everything that's happening in the world, we are here. I want us to be grateful to have the opportunity to impact others. Not everyone has that opportunity. I want us to be grateful to be in the room with other like. I am so sorry. I'm grateful. Keep going. All right. I was just going to say that I'm grateful to be in the room with like minded people who are visionary, who are big picture thinkers, who really and truly want to make a difference. So I want you to look around the room, smile at someone, wave at someone, and then go ahead and give yourselves a round of applause. You deserve, thank you, you deserve being celebrated this morning. You're out early on a Friday morning. You do not have to be here. And I want to acknowledge and celebrate you for coming out. I am truly honored. I am truly honored and privileged to be serving you this morning. My name is Gertrude, but you can call me Gigi because I feel like we're friends already. Yeah. Yeah, we're friends. I've met almost everyone in the room a few moments ago. And I want us to really connect this morning. Not, yes, because of Activate 300, but it's because we're human beings. Because we're human beings striving to help other human beings. I want us to be people this morning. We are delegates, we're vendors, we're participants, we're educated, beautiful people, and that's wonderful. But we're here to connect with other people. We're here to impact lives. We're here to bring hope to others. It's a big deal. It's a truly big deal, and I'm super excited. And I just feel like I'm in the cusp of things changing, and it's such an opportunity to be part of a group that is changing things in our community. It's glorious, it's beautiful, it's a wonderful seed to sow into your future. I believe in sowing and reaping. So you are sowing your time, your energy, your smile, your everything this morning to be here. Truly know that you will reap a great harvest. All right? So we are here because of Activate 300. And I'm going to quickly tell you what Activate 300 is about. The goal is to empower, to inspire, and to motivate. Activate 300 is an impact program that is tailored to meet specific needs and to solve targeted problems in the community. It's an impact program that provides a list of services to its targets. We're talking about education, housing, vocational training, coaching, mentoring, life skill training, and so much more. If you watched the video earlier, you'd have seen the need for these things. We're living in very different times from 10, 20 years ago. Post-pandemic situation really hit women in a special way. And that special way is not a positive way. So we're here because there is a need, not because we just want to hang out and be cute. We're here because we really want to change lives. We're here because we have seen, it's one thing to look at statistics and then one thing to think about this as real human beings. So when you see 69% and 70-something%, these are lives. People who have lost their jobs, domestic violence that went up during the pandemic, people that are being marginalized and are quiet. We're talking about people who may be transitioning from prison or from the shelters and have no idea how to reintegrate into this post-pandemic society. I know a few. They look normal on the outside, beautiful, smiling even, but get to talk to them some more, and you'll know that there's a real need. And the few that I've met can't be compared to the numbers that the statistics are showing. So this is just a reminder that you're part of a bigger vision and to get excited about that vision this morning. So I have the beautiful honor of introducing our keynote speaker. She is the president of Baltimore County Commission for Women and a senior organization development consultant at University of Maryland Health Systems. I'm speaking of Ms. Ruth Howard. Welcome.
See, I don't need that, I don't think. I'm loud. My boss, my vice president, is our first board delegated to office, and I was on it. Thank you for the introduction. I'm delighted and honored to be here today. So for those of you who are familiar with Toastmasters, um, I you know I will stay within my time limit. I was a Toastmaster for about 15 or 5 years, and we learned the importance of staying within our time frame. Now, when I received the call the other day to come and speak to you, I quickly went to the website to look up the organization because I am very particular about what groups I invest my time into. So the first thing that I read on the website was, at WOV, we are passionate about providing continuous support and innovative solutions to promote economic self-sufficiency and self-esteem for women. So I didn't have to think twice about saying yes, because this organization aligns with my core values. And as women, we tend to say yes to everything. A lot of times we have a fear of saying no. But several years ago, I decided that I would not do anything that does not align with my core values or my vision. So we can't do it all, so this is an organization I definitely had to say yes today. So I am representing the Baltimore County Commission for Women, and I've been on the board. I was appointed by the county executive about 5 years ago, and for the last 3 years I served as the president. So let me see by a show of hands, how many people have ever heard of the Baltimore County Commission for Women? 2 people. So our goal this year is to get everybody in Baltimore County, particularly the women, aware of who we are. So, I have a little presentation to share with you once we get it up. Well, while he's getting up, so the commission has been around for 30 years, and our primary role is we're advocates for women in Baltimore County. We provide information to help meet the needs of women. We provide recommendations to the county on matters relating to sexual discrimination, equal rights, opportunities, and other issues that concern women. We investigate conditions so that we understand what the needs of women are in Baltimore County. We work to remove any inequalities, such as in housing, recreation. Let's see. It was working earlier. Oh, too far. I want to go back to slide number 2. Okay. You have the old one then. That's okay. So we also provide contact and referral information and services that are available to women in Baltimore County. And one thing that many women are aware of in Baltimore County is that we do have an annual Women of the Year. So some of you in this room have been doing some amazing things. I encourage you to check out our website and complete our application to become the Women of the Year. And we also have a Young Woman of the Year for high school students. 2 years ago, we received an award from the National Association for Commission on Women for a program that we call Diversity Dimensions, where we had women of diverse backgrounds come and share their stories and how the impact of discrimination that they felt. So I was asked to share some information on the statistics about the state of women in Baltimore County, so that is what I am going to do. For many of the last 2 years has been chaotic. There's been chaos, there's been heartbreak, there's been a lot of loss since the pandemic started. And the circumstances may be tough, but yet it's still crucial for us to fight for gender equality. During the pandemic, as she mentioned, it hit women really hard. 5.4 million women lost their jobs. That is 1 million more than men did. That is over $8 billion. So let's look at what's going on with women in Baltimore County. There are over 927,000 residents in Baltimore County. 53% are women. There are over 312,000 households with 18% of those being female run. Still not working. So in Baltimore County, the median, can anybody guess what the median income is in Baltimore County? Just throw out a number, anybody. Okay, 45, 50. 70,000 is the median income. And more than 15% of the female households live below poverty level, with 45% of those earning below $5,940. I'm not sure what's going on here, but go ahead. So when you live in poverty, you lack resources to provide the necessities for life, such as shelter, food, health care, clothing, education, transportation. I can't imagine not being able to go outside, jump in my car, and not being able to go where I want to go when I want to go. These are things that most of us in this room take for granted. Domestic violence is prevalent in Baltimore County. In most cases, go unreported. There were 5,200 cases that reporting, and it's believed that that's less than 10% of the actual cases. And domestic violence survivors face ongoing challenges during the physical, mental, emotional abuse. It can take time for a survivor to adjust to life in a safe environment, especially if the perpetrator had severely violated or the actions had taken over years. 30% of homicides are a result of domestic violence. So I was surprised to learn that Maryland had a serious human trafficking problem. And when women don't have the financial means to support themselves, they don't have self-esteem, they're easily preyed upon. Thankfully, there are organizations like Women of Valor that are positioning women for success. They help families by providing education, job training, care support for children, housing, food support. They are making a difference. They are helping women to reach their potential and aspirations. But we want to know, what is it that we can do to make a difference? I'm going to show you a short video called 212 Degrees. And this video is about making a difference by doing something small. At 211 degrees, water boils, and it can burn you. But at 212 degrees, that's just 1 degree higher, it's boiling, and boiling water can move a locomotive. Just with 1 degree, we can make a significant impact that can make a tremendous impact on our community. We can change the trajectory of a whole family, generations. For those of you who are in position, hire women and make sure that they're paid fairly. Hold your public officials accountable. I know they get sick of me writing letters. They're on my speed dial. Anything that happens, and I'll share. And for anything, when I was getting ready to buy a house, the person who owned the house had a lien on it with the IRS. So you would think nobody could do anything. Well, my time was short. I had about 4 days before the expiration. I called my congressman, Dutch Rupersberger's office. They had that lien off within 24 hours. So call your congressman, call your councilman, call your delegates whenever you have any issues. But also, we put them in office when they're not doing the things that we need them to do. Pick up the phone or put somebody else in office. Because a lot of times we keep people in there for the wrong reasons. But then lastly, support organizations like this that help move women in the right direction. Next slide, please. I want to leave you with a quote by Martin Luther King. Today is a great day to make a difference for someone. I have a dream. Everyone have a great day today.
Thank you, Ms. Ruth Howard. That was so powerful. I am already inspired. I don't know about you guys. That was beautiful. And that video, the power of storytelling, right? I saw that. I really quickly checked. Real quick. Completely understand. Thank you so much. The difference between... There you go. We're making friends this morning. Networking is powerful. That was so powerful. I love the difference between 211 and 212 degrees. 1 degree different can make such a huge impact. My brother says sometimes the difference between a 4 and 5 star hotel is the details, right? You go into a hotel room and you just kind of, even the way you're greeted, right? It's different. So there's such a difference in going the extra mile. So thank you again, everyone, for going the extra mile this morning. So we're going to move on, and next we are in for a treat. We're going to hear, it's a 2-part performance. It's a poem, and we're starting from the first part. I'm going to call it Act 1. And this performance today is from a book. It's from a poetry book, a beautiful book called Black Fairy Tales by Chinyere Wright. The original poem is by poet Tanisha R. Brown. The production manager is India Palmer, and the producer is Kaloni Clipford. And ladies and gentlemen, we're in for a treat. I'm super excited. I peeked into them rehearsing this morning, and there's nothing like the power of storytelling. I'm into film and video. I love storytelling. Connects us to people that we may never see. So ladies, come on down. I can't wait to see. A round of applause for them, please.
Celebrate with me that every day something has tried to kill me and has failed. That every day something has tried to kill me and has failed. So as I celebrate 3 decades of this kind of life, that be kind of like poetry. Poetry that uses beautiful words to describe difficult things, like how watching my mother bleed out over the sink at the hands of a man was my first memory of love. And how some twisted version of love left the door open just enough to let in a hashtag for me too. Difficult things like how at the intersection of gender and race is the black woman, the built your land on my back woman, the angry woman, the hard woman, the pull rabbits out my ass with no applause woman, the do the work 2 times over for my seat at the table woman, the able woman, the because I have to woman. This life is like the poetry that speaks to how we called the fruit of my womb up out of lust and wedlock, and how my body opened up a portal from God straight to this undeserving ass world, so you can't break me. I've created life. I have created light. I am light. I am dark. And every day something has tried to kill me and has failed. So come celebrate with me. I had no model, but I learned some things. 1, if it compromises your integrity, walk away. 2, if it comes between you and you, let it go. 3, if ever it becomes too much, it is okay to lay your cape down. It'll be there in the morning. 4, you are enough. 5, you are enough. 6, both non-white and woman, you are enough. So come celebrate with me that every day something has tried to kill me and has failed.
That phrase could ever be a compliment, as if a dark beauty could be an exception to a rule. The darkness is the attraction, not its handicap. Romance story. I did not call your friends home. Stop romanticizing murder.
God.
A little black boy told me that black men remind him of bubbles. Beautiful, comforting, effervescent, glowing, but temporary and fragile. And that he watches them move around him. He wonders if they know how little time they have here. He wonders if God only blows bubbles for recreation.
Nursery rhymes for black men. Don't cry, play rough, fight back, be tough. Go to work, delay your dream. Be responsible, provide for your queen. Sacrifice, pay the price, chase your lover, make her your wife. Never look scared, even if you are. Don't let your fears break your spirit apart. Be strong, admit you're wrong. Keep a game face, win the rat race. Respect the police, be polite. Don't move too suddenly so they won't take your life. And yet still pretend that you will never bend. Your children are watching, on you they depend. U-turn even when you need a rest. Flex your muscles, do your best. Don't cry, play rough, fight back, be tough. This is what our black men hear from the time that they're 5. Black man, I just want to say I salute you for shining through the rough times, for carrying a weight that most don't recognize. This is dedicated to all whom it applies.
My friend's older brother fondled my vagina with the boldness and dexterity he used to play his Atari video game the afternoon before. I was 7 in the 2nd grade. He was 14 or so. I remember feeling like my friend's Monopoly board, flat face, still. As her older brother's cold piece moved over me, he cupped my nipples in his palms and shook them clumsily and fiercely like dice, and acquired me as one of his properties. Looking back, I wish I had the courage to flip over the board the same way I did when my cousins beat me at the game, but I just laid there. As he beat himself, as if this was a game, my eyes closed, pretending to sleep. That way he wouldn't think I wanted him there next to me on the tough sofa bed. If I closed my eyes, I wouldn't have to try and fight a fight I knew I would never win. I pressed my legs together as he pressed his fingers into me, moving them fast and rough, like my dark body was his video game joystick, and then he placed my tiny hands on his huge black joystick. He played with my unwrapped Xbox with his wireless controller. I blacked out. Like Channel 4 on the TV screen in front of us, as I waited for him to play this next game, but he decided to play with my body instead. I never slept over there again. I never told my friend or my parents why. Recently, decades later, I found out he was arrested for raping his own child. I feel guilty for not telling the story until just now. I am mad that I probably feel much more guilty for my silence than he does about violating his child and me. Moral to the poem: be careful when you send your daughters to sleep over. While they zip themselves up in their Disney princess sleeping bags, they may be zipping themselves up in secrets you may never learn or want to learn. That was not the only time I was touched by a boy.
Wow, thank you so much, ladies, for that powerful performance. So I would just love to acknowledge the performers.
I know I talked about the production manager and the producer earlier. The individual performance: Jordan Jones, Soul, Tracy Jiggets, Janelle Blue, Bijion Wright, Maren Lovey, and Mecca. Thank you so much, ladies. There is so much power in telling your story. So right now, I don't know if everyone is aware, but October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And we're going to hear an amazing breast cancer awareness speech by Bonnie J. Harry. She's the Executive Director of the Cadensville Emergency Assistance. She has an extensive management background in the healthcare field. She's a registered nurse by training. She has worked in West Baltimore for more than 30 years and has owned several businesses. Her guiding principle is to deliver compassionate, quality care with respect for every person served. She and her husband live with her father and their 2 dogs. When she's not working, Bonnie likes to golf, travel, and is interested in calligraphy. Very talented. She began fly fishing thanks to her grandson, Branson. We have the details. And her other grandson, Tyler, keeps her tech skills up to date. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Bonnie J. Harry. You're very welcome. I really have to use this. This is for the camera.
Okay. This is a wow moment. I hope when all of you got up this morning that you realized the joy that you were going to find in this day, and also the joy that you are going to be able to give to someone today. And I think that's what gives me the encouragement and certainly my belief of getting up every day. Who am I going to be able to serve? So I want to say first, I love the quote by Maya Angelou that says, "I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." And I think, though I only have 10 minutes, and Tenny knows that I could go on for 3 or 4 hours, but I think in having the opportunity to not only be a nurse for 41 years, but also to be in the position with the nonprofit that I am now and be able to serve the people that we do. I want you to know that March 11th of 2020, most of you know that the county that we live in, Baltimore County, the city, pretty much the state went into lockdown and people didn't go out. But I'm very proud to say that my organization has not missed one day of serving clients. And I tell you that because I think empowering women will get it done always. And that's not to say that I don't have some wonderful male colleagues and certainly male volunteers that have helped us sustain this effort through this entire pandemic. But I say it that women just get it. They know what needs to be done, and they do it. So I hope that all of you, when you find that belief that you're going to empower the people that you work with, just remember that empowerment starts with you and that you need to love yourself first, because you can't give something that you don't have within. Maya Angelou also said, "A wise woman wishes to be no one's enemy. A wise woman refuses to be anyone's victim." So I truly want to let you know that in all of the service that you will be doing, in all of the good that you have within and that you can share with others, please know that it is strong, it lives within you, and you need to share that. And by sharing that and paying it forward, you are going to make this place, you are going to make this world, and you will be so happy to know that you are part of it. I'm going to end there because I know that Tenny knows that I really would love to share so many many more things, but I will tell you, it is so nice that Tenny's group is so close to us, and we've opened our door, and we want to share the experiences that we have had at Catonsville Emergency Assistance. We've been there over 40 years. We have grown in the last 5 years that I have been there, and it is such a deep pleasure to be able to serve those people. And I think that in the 40 years that I have served in West Baltimore, being able to share not only with the homeless, but with the underserved, and always looking for resources that we have to share. Let me tell you, folks, if within you, you want to pay it forward, and if within you, you want to make sure that you can make it a better day for others, you'll find those resources, and you will find that joy that gives you the reason to get up every day. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your service. Over 30 years at the Baltimore Emergency Assistance, even through the pandemic. I can imagine what that was like. Everything shut down and you were still serving. Thank you so much. There's so many heroes that just walk around, no capes. You have no idea the people you're sitting next to, the people you're smiling at, but so many people have made such a huge impact in their own way, and I hope that inspires all of us. So ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the fun part, fun for fundraising part of this morning's event. So you know why we are here. Activate 300 to inspire, to empower, right, to motivate, and it's dealing with the female gender. So if you would like to, we would ask that you consider, there are different, thank you for putting up the website, that's wonderful. So for any information, this is the place to go, right? And you can share this link with other people, with your family, with your friends, with people who you know have similar vision, or people who you know would serve this purpose. So there are various levels of giving, or categories, and you will see that shortly. Thank you so much. So there, you can see it here, $1,000, $2,500, $5,000, and $10,000. And these are just guidelines. If you want to give more than 10,000, you are more than welcome to. We will take it, okay? So, and then there, of course, the benefits. It's tax-deductible donations. There's donor certificate. That's for the $1,000 level, the Pearl level. Tax-deductible donor certificate, as well as a media mention. 5,000, the Sapphire level. The benefits include tax-deductible donations, donor certificate, media mention, as well as brand publicity. At 10,000, the Diamond level, tax-deductible donation, donor certificate, CSR Select trademark, media mention, brand publicity, service referrals, charity event host. So this is a pre-launch to what is happening. So Activate 300 actually starts January 4th of 2022. So you're going to be hearing a lot about, you're getting updates on what is happening. This is the kickoff. Okay, so I love that you are here today and you get to see these levels. Also, we also have, if you go to the website, you can actually give monthly if you prefer. So I know all of us must be budget people. I have everything like scheduled to go out certain days, so no surprises. So everything from Netflix, I know when that goes out. I've kind of consolidated. I used to have Hulu, Disney Plus, but during the pandemic, I decided to downsize. So Netflix is the only one left. But what I'm getting at is that you can schedule monthly payments and you can make a pledge and you can do so online, and that will help you to meet any of the goals of the categories you have on there. I've realized that talking about money can sometimes be awkward, right? You go to a restaurant with a friend and you're trying to split the bill. You know, I didn't have the dessert. Did you have the dessert? You know, money sometimes can be awkward. And even myself, getting ready for this morning, I had to think about it. And I realized that I had to think about the bigger picture, right? The bigger picture isn't that I'm asking you to give me for my personal needs, but it's that I'm asking that you would consider giving hope to others, that you will consider giving somebody a valuable education.
life skills, mentoring that you would consider sowing into such a good ground that will reap a harvest that you can't even quite imagine. Because how do you quantify mentorship? You can't. Because look at the lady that went on to become a culinary chef. You don't know the lives that she will impact and how you've impacted her family and the people she will see. So the ripple effect could just keep going, but you have an opportunity to sow a seed or to give this morning. So I would love that if you need to take a picture of the screen, please do so you can share. I'm going to move my big head to the side so that you can share with friends and family, especially the website, so that you always know where to go for more information. All right? I'm going to give you a moment to do that, a moment to think about it. Some of you need to talk to your spouses, or significant others before you make these kind of commitments. But I guarantee you, from everyone we have spoken to today, we know that Women of Valor is good ground. It's definitely good ground. And I love that there are different categories. So you can start at 1,000 and over time grow to give more and more. Every year I try to challenge myself to do whatever I'm doing that's right to increase in the following year. So maybe it's a projection for you for 2022, that maybe I was just giving in this area, but I'd like to give into Women of Valor. Definitely go ahead and make that commitment. And it's really a call to action, because sometimes we come to these kind of meetings and we're inspired and we're all energized, but where the rubber hits the road is when you do something. Everyone wants to change the world, but we forget changing the world will require money. It will require something from us. So I'm going to ask that you take action on the inspiration and the motivation and not just think about it. Action is what causes the ripple effects, not just... Because somehow it happens where the motivation is like 100 now, and then, you get home and it's like 80, and then 2 days from now it's like 50. You know what I mean? So it's a call to action, and I'm asking that you start with whatever you have for now, and then make a pledge to continue. And I believe you will have what it takes to meet your pledge. And that's what anything good will stretch you. Working out will stretch you because you're getting better. Eating right will stretch you. I wanted a donut for breakfast. I didn't do it. But there's some level of pain, so to speak. But there's such a bigger cause, a bigger vision on the other end. So please act on this today. And not because it would make you feel right, but because you're really impacting lives. You're empowering women. I know of a woman just recently, and you see, some of these people, we talked about poverty earlier and how it can impact women, but some people it's just crises, and nobody can schedule these things. It just happens. I know of someone close to me recently that got diagnosed with a form of cancer, and she just thought she was tired. She just thought she was tired. And she has 4 children. It's so much going on. And then she has a mortgage, and of course she's trying to balance everything, and she's a single mother. Sure, my family is doing what we can, but an organization like this could definitely step in. And you would see her, you would never know she's gorgeous. But life just threw a curve at her. And there's so many people like her that we walk about all the time and we don't know about. So what I'm getting at is that let's make a move this morning at whatever level you can. Thank you so much. We can't thank you enough for your pledges. And I know Ms. Tenny is going to go back and look at the numbers, but I'm already grateful for the fact that you came out this morning. And I understand that people viewing online, we are so grateful because you don't have to shout out your giving, but we know that you're going to do it. And as soon as we see it, we'll do the media mentions and so forth. Thank you so much. All right, so we're going to move on, and we're going to go into our keynote speaker. So what you heard earlier was a keynote address, right, by Ms. Howard. And we're going to go into our keynote speaker, and her bio is beautiful. And I'm going ahead and share with you Good Girl Mafia. Diana has worked as a TV personality where she interviewed stars like Jennifer Lopez, Mariah Carey, I mean so many others, Mary J. Blige. She has done this for over 10 years, live, unscripted, broadcasted into 100 million homes. Diana's viewers loved her, calling her credible, natural, and often hilarious, and I can say that she's hilarious. I met her this morning, and we've been laughing ever since. She first of all messed with me, telling me her name was Sally. I was like, what? But it was so much fun because she already knew that I was already nervous, and then she just played off that. And I ended up feeling even more relaxed. Thank you, Diana. And I have more to share about Diana because she's so remarkable. So she created Good Girl Mafia. It's a leading encouragement, empowerment, and entertainment company for women. She knows firsthand how bumpy the road to empowerment can be. She created the Good Girl Mafia Empowerment Bootcamp, a step-by-step system with proven techniques to make that journey fast and relatively painless. This is precisely what her clients tell her. And it's the complete opposite of her experience. As a trained empowerment coach, Diana tactically calibrates your current empowerment position and guides you to grow maximum empowerment, to become the version of you that you see in your mind and live your best life. If you know you were made for more, you've come to the right place. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Diana of Good Girl Mafia.
I'm the worst. I told her my name was Sally. I thought we would have some fun because, you know, fun really does change how we feel. And it's so important sometimes to have a little bit of fun because life can get heavy, right? The last year got really heavy. And what I can tell you for sure is that the worst will come for the best. The worst will come for the best of us. We've seen that today already with some of these moving performances and moving stories. It's going to come for you. It will come for you, you. Pain will come for all of us at some point in our lives. It just does. And the interesting thing is we can be going along our regular lives and boom, a crisis comes in and it hits us. Other times I find, especially with clients, it's this slow burn, right? It's this slow simmer. Things just don't feel right. But we can, of course, avoid that, right? We have so many things that keeps us busy until the ultimate crisis came along, and that was March of 2020. And so many of us ended up being, whether we liked it or not, we were locked up at home. And after we bought all of the bananas, made all of the banana bread, watched the entire Netflix, we still ended up sitting here and realizing those things that maybe we don't really want to think about. Crisis, slow simmer burn, or a combination of both. And that's really what hit me. And so when Teniola asked me, Diana, I want you to talk about pain and purpose in women. I said to Teniola, I said, it's really funny you asked me to talk about that because it's something that I have been thinking about quite a bit. And so because we know that the worst will come for the best of us, go along in life, it will happen. Crisis does come for all of us. The question then becomes, what do we do with it? How do we handle it? And I have found that oftentimes we sit in a space of why for a while, right? Why me? And let me tell you, very, very human response. Why me? Why is this happening to me? Then we often move on to the next question, which is, well, why not me? There is a reason for this. Why not me? And oftentimes people stop there. And what I often say to women and what I challenge women to do is take it one step further. If fortune favors the bold, then healing favors those who are courageous. And once you go from the why me to the well, why not me, there must be purpose in this somewhere, somehow. Then I want you to go and I want you to ask the real question, the one that will move you through. It takes courage to ask because sometimes pain is really unfair. Let's be honest, it's unfair. I'm a good person. What did I do? Why I don't deserve this? I didn't do anything to anybody. So here's the question you really need to ask. The question isn't why. The question isn't why not. The question is what? What specifically is this here to teach me? What specifically am I supposed to learn from this? How specifically am I supposed to move through this? And those are the questions that oftentimes we kind of bypass because that's where pain can be transformed. And I believe that doing it requires two things. Number one is courage, right? The second is willingness. And I will tell you that it doesn't matter to me which comes first, the courage or the willingness. But in order to go from pain and then move into purpose, and it's really funny because as I sit here today and see all of these women and listen to your stories, it takes one to know one, right? You can always identify another woman who has been through it and come out the other end and is willing to do something with it. You see that in another woman. But first you have to have the courage and the willingness to start to look at what specifically is this here to teach me? Because whether it's the good or the bad, there is always something there for us to learn. Always. The last thing we want when we're in the thick of it is just another platitude. Well, God doesn't give you more than what, you can handle. Well, that's really funny because that time just ran out. Okay, I'm officially at the I have more than I can handle stage, right? Oh, the worst doesn't happen. Oh, well, it's opposite day because the worst just happened, right? These are the things, and we get stuck in that pattern of pain and it's difficult and I can't get up and I don't know what to do. And that pattern is what we really need to look at. As an empowerment coach and listening to all of these empowered stories today, what I will tell you and what I know for sure is that the more personally empowered women we have walking around this earth is the more this idea of female empowerment grows. Female empowerment, women supporting other women, women doing that which needs to be done for the woman who is standing next to her. And what is personal empowerment if not being able to look at situations and say, what specifically is this for? What specifically am I supposed to learn? Because here's what I know for sure. I've been through it, right? I've been through it too. And here is what I know for sure. This painful moment that you may be sitting in right now, that painful moment at some point will be your past. I know it's really tough now, and we all know this when you're in it, but this moment will be your past at some point. And I will tell you something about the past. It is a very, very nasty partner to take with you through life. It is the worst bedfellow, the heaviest luggage. You really don't want to be taking your past with you, especially when your past is full of pain. So that courage and that willingness that we need in that moment will completely change the trajectory of 6 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now. But it is the past that I think is what we really need to look at as women. We've heard some stories today that are heart-wrenching and so painful. It is the past that really needs to be looked at, because that's what creates the patterns that play out in our lives. And again, what is empowerment if we cannot understand the patterns that are playing out in our mind, that's playing out in our lives? It's so very important that we recognize those, because that is what ultimately does lead us out of those periods of pain, because that moment of pain will be your past. So how do you want to live your life 6 months from now? Who do you want to be? Where do you want to go? One thing I know for sure is the more we share our stories and the more we talk to one another, is the more that it all becomes not so painful. It becomes not as painful. It becomes something that we can all look at one another and relate to one another, because been there, done that, seen it, experienced it. Pain is one of those things that when you do sit in it and have the courage and the willingness to get up and move forward in a really thoughtful and meaningful way, when you have the courage and the willingness to sit and ask yourself, what am I supposed to learn from this? What higher purpose could this possibly serve? Those are the moments where you do start to move through it. And referencing back to those amazing performances we had today, how much courage it took to be willing to stand up and share those personal stories. Those are the kinds of stories that people hide. Those are the kinds of stories that we don't share. It's scary, it's hard. But that right there is one of those moments where you have answered the what specifically. Because we start off again with the why me. Then it's the why not me. That already gets you moving forward. But if we really 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, want to stand in a place where the past is not something that is dictating my life, it is a story and a punctuation mark in one moment in my life, and now I've turned that into something else. And what I find with empowered women is they oftentimes turn around and share their story so that they can impact the lives of other women. And that, to me, I mean, I always say to women, I say, what's your definition of female empowerment? Very, very easy answer. It rolls off the tongue. Everybody says, oh, using your voice, having confidence, women supporting women. Then I ask, well, what is your definition of personal empowerment? And then the tone changes. The mood changes a little bit, because that, I believe, is where it gets to the heart and to the root of the matter. You know, I'm a neuro-linguistic programming master practitioner, and one of the things that you learn very, very early on is that everything that you think, do, and say is subject to patterns. And these patterns are dictated by the way your brain codes learning and information. And those are the patterns that play out in our mind. Those patterns in our mind dictates all of the decisions we make. All of those decisions we make dictate the circumstances of our lives, and those circumstances create the life that we're in. Are we interested in that life? Are we not? Is it fulfilling? Isn't it? Are you on autopilot? Are you not? I used to drive to work, and was I on autopilot? I remember I would take my card and swipe the gate, and I would watch the gate open, and I would snap back into my body, and I would think, how did I even get here? Talk about autopilot, right? Oh, you're on the TV. Oh, life is so glamorous. Oh, it's all of these things, but yeah, you look empowered. Sure, it looks like, oh, queen of female empowerment, but the reality of it was that it was time for me to move on. It was time for me to move on. It was time for me to I was so unfulfilled. And it took my father passing away and my marriage falling apart on the exact same day and leaving my career, literally burning down my entire identity in a matter of months, to truly wake up and say, I have disempowered patterns that are playing out in my life. Did she do such and such to me? Did he say such and such? Was it awful? You were mean? You did me wrong? Oh, yes, sure. But the reality of it is that it was a slow burn. I could have left things behind a long time ago. I did not. That was my choice. It came from having disempowered parts of me. Kind of a tough pill to swallow. No woman wants to admit that I have any part. We don't want to say we're disempowered in any way. But the reality of it is so many of us are. And so for those of us who have gone from the why me to the why not me to the what specifically am I supposed to learn from this to now I've learned it, the only thing that's left truly is wanting to live a life of purpose and meaning, to bring an awareness for other people, to make that pain not be in vain, to take that pain and share not just the pain, but also the fulfillment that comes afterwards. And that's why, you know, when Teniola reached out to me, like Ruth was saying earlier, it was a very easy yes. It's a very, very easy yes. Because again, it's easy to look at someone in the eye and say, I see you. I see that you are very genuine. You are living a life of purpose and meaning. I love women like that. I love women who are doing that and really, really want to make an impact. And what better impact? Listen, if we're really going to make this idea of female empowerment a reality, then women supporting women needs to be more than just a cool catchphrase. It can't be something cool that we say on social media. It can't be just another great hashtag. We have to actively support other women. And the crazy thing is we all have a calling. We all have a purpose. We all have something we can do. For some of us, it's speaking. For others, it's going to be being out in the community, serving these women. Teniola told me that she was serving 350 meals a day. Yeah, during the pandemic. Yeah, during the pandemic. 350 meals a day during the pandemic. That's her gift, outreach. How do we support that? How do we take the idea of women really supporting other women? How do we do that? Well, this is our opportunity to do that. This is our moment to stand up and say, you know what? I have kids, or I work overnights, or whatever the case may be, but I can still support Teniola. I can still support another woman who's going to support other women, who will then support other women, who will then support other women. And I think that anyone who has a heart for it should absolutely stand up and do it. You know, when you say activate 300, I think we can activate a whole lot more. I really do. And I think that it doesn't take much. And I say that because many hands make for light work. Many hands make for light work. And if you are here today, I appreciate you being here, but we need to do more. We really need to do more. When Teniola goes out and 350 meals a day, there is need. There is a need in our community. And as our first speaker was talking about, it often hits women, and it often hits women first. And so, women supporting women. Is this just a cool hashtag on social media, or are we really going to stand up and start doing it? And I think just by being here, that's exactly what we are doing. When you give to someone who is living her purpose, when you give to someone who is out in the community, giving back and helping others, we just don't even know how that will change the trajectory of their lives. And that trajectory of that one life goes out to the family and goes out to everyone else. So I'm going to ask everybody who's here today to join in on the idea of many hands make for light work. Join in on the idea of women supporting women. Join in on the idea that that's That's real female empowerment. We can give it a million different definitions, but what is it if not women supporting other women? And there's so many ways that we can support other women through Tenniola's purpose, and we're going to do that here today. If anybody here is currently today going through a hard time, because it's funny how those things work, right? There may be someone right now who's sitting in this auditorium or watching the live stream who is going through a hard time. Have the courage, have the willingness, show yourself some compassion. Show yourself love and compassion. Have the courage and willingness to move through it. And for the rest of us who have gone through our own moment of pain that has turned into purpose, we have an opportunity today to pay it forward by helping Tenniola. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Wow. Thank you so, so much. Many hands make for light work. That's a powerful statement. And Activate 300, that number 300 is just a starting figure because we'll be doing so much more. 300 is the jump off, and there'll be so much more people that will be empowered, and we'll keep you updated about those numbers in the months to come. How many of you are excited about being here this morning? Yeah, you're difference makers. I love being in the room with like-minded people. It's like iron sharpening iron, you know? It's beautiful. Thank you so much, Diana. We can't thank you enough for traveling. Did I tell you she came all the way from Miami for this event? That's remarkable. Thank you so much. And you don't look like you traveled. You look like you just woke up and just... You see, because women are strong people. The women will go through everything, and you will never know until they tell you. And you'll be like, how do you look so good? Because we are so strong. And I think over time, we've also learned how to package ourselves so well that you don't see the scars under the foundation. But people are going through tough things, and thank you so much for that. That was, I want to say, one of the best keynote speeches I've ever heard. Honestly and truly, concise, to the point, and so genuine. And I think that's what we need these days, authenticity. People can tell when you're just fluffing. I work with a youth group, and I'm telling you, they will call you out. They'll just start rolling their eyes like, oh my God, you know? They can tell when you really care. They can tell when you mean what you say. So thank you for meaning what you said, and thank you for being out here this morning. That's amazing. So one more time, I'm going to put the giving, thank you, the website up. If you could go ahead and also put the partnership up. I know some people may have come in late. You could go ahead and take your picture of that so that you can consider giving this morning. And I want to make emphasis on the fact that you may know people who can partner with Women of Valor. You may know organizations, you may be part of an organization that can partner with Women of Valor. Because again, there's a range of things, mentorship, education, life skills. So there's so many resources that even if you're not sure of how you can help, I would definitely suggest you take a picture of the information and then also speak to the president of Women of Valor, Ms. Tenny, who will be speaking shortly. And you could just be like, I want to help, I'm not sure how. I have a feeling she will find you a how. Because, oh yeah, she will. She has 1,001 ideas. So we're going to move forward. We're going to see a video, and then you'll be hearing the voice of the president of Women of Valor, Ms. Tenniola.
How do I describe myself? I'll say it's married and all generous being and just lovely. All of this describes me though and many more. I have an active belief on the value placed on human lives. I practice discourse in order to improve the conditions of humanity for moral, altruistic, and logical reasons. And honorably, I'm a woman who embraces the concept of caring as my highest calling.
I believe the time to repair the roof is when the sun is shining. And you can listen to my intro video later. Is everything okay? Okay. So I want to tell a story this morning, and I do not want to bore you with that, but I've not been this old in my spirit to tell it. And I said to myself, I think this is the time. The truth is like the sun. You can shut it out for a time, but it's not going away, right? 15 years ago, I survived the most painful 12 hours of my life. I had a group of ladies during my second degree. I called them friends, apparently. I believed so much in our friendship, the bond, the loyalty, and the love, and the interest, concentration to growth. So I went on a trip to Dubai, and on my return back to college, during a lecture, my friends teamed up to hurt me. They beat me up to the point of strangulation. I didn't think I was going to make it. While I was dumbfounded, uneasy in my spirit, I was worried that I might probably not see my siblings again. I was the last, but it felt like I was the best. So I was shocked to the extent where I felt like I needed to breathe and, go outside, come back inside. Like, these are faces I know so well. And I needed an answer to know why this was going on. An hour later, and when I say an hour later, it felt like a year in that hour, because everything you could imagine was done to me. And there was a lady amongst them. I realized that at some point, she was not in her best of self. Then I said to myself, Tenny, that's your weakest link. So I started to assess her spirit. And by the way, I'm from a Christian home, and I understand the importance of prayer. So at that point, that was the only thing I could do. Then I found my way to assess the lady, and she didn't want to do anything to me. She just said, I don't know what they're doing, but I can't do anything because we all wanted to do this to you. On the 12th hour, because I had the only thing I had on me, they literally tore me up, was my wristwatch. And I found my way out. I don't want to bore you with that because we've listened to so much of those kind of stories this morning. So I got home. Someone, I didn't know where that person came from, but I still believe that God is able to come in flesh to help you. And when my mom saw me, she wanted to tear herself up as well just to look like me. And she literally is a great woman. And about an hour later, we got the cops and got the ladies in custody that night. We literally went to the team lead's home, which was about, I would say like 25 minutes from where I live. She was shocked that she could see my mom, and if you know my mom, goodness gracious. She was like, you mean you did this to my baby? We wanted answers. As much as they wanted answers, I wanted answers because I have lived my life as a loyal being. I understand the placement of love. I am a very compassionate human being. The few things people appreciate about themselves is largely because I know you, you're my family, you're my friend. But for me, an extra human around me feels like a family. And that's why I can relate this morning to you all. So I needed answers, like I said earlier. And during the interrogation, the team lead highlighted meaningless excuses as the reason to this attack. So I didn't still felt that did it for me. I wanted to ask her, why did you do this to me? I have known you for about 4 years. We've been everywhere together. We've had great times together. We've hurt together. We've danced together. I needed answers. And if you know me so well, I'm not the very emotional person. I'm a very logical human being. So I feel like a split of me is a woman, the other split is a man. So I don't think like a woman. I just need you to tell me why. Largely because I want to process it afterwards. Then the words I heard were, I just hate her. I feel she has it all together. I feel she's too brilliant. I feel she acts like she's the only person in the room. So while she said that, now, I'm not from here. And I can all say to you all this morning, I'm an African, but much more, I'm a Nigerian. The way the cops are trained to respond to issues in this particular place is different from where I come from. The first thing, one that couldn't handle the bruises on my body, the first thing they did to one of the ladies was, hit her. And she was like, oh, hit me for all you care, I would do more to her. Then I just wanted to ask her again, what exactly is it? Why can you, in life, I believe that there must be a reason to anything, right? And at that point, I realized that this is it. They can't place it, but it's the world hatred. And that's where many of us are still today. I heard it again from another one. There were several resentful statements. So I was hurt, baffled with the betrayal, month after month. I had questions. Nobody could tell me, so I realized that I think the journey is yours, Tenny. You have to heal to live. You have to live to grow. And you have to grow to understand who you truly are. If there's so much of concerns and disruptions about my being, then I believe that there's someone higher that can tell me a little bit about myself. And I think that was where I became such a great Christian. And this is my life story, which I've not had the privilege. I've had several privileges, I won't say that. I've not just been this bold enough to talk about it. So I educated myself through several experiences on my prime purpose, which is to help others and not to hurt them. So the picture I see with you all this morning, I see you all, I appreciate you all, but what I still sense is the exact thing those ladies did to me. There were 3 of them, but it felt that they had prepared like male beings, not female beings. Now, what is the purpose of education? It's to replace a closed mind with an open one. My mind was closed for years. I would say years after years. So when I see every woman, it's not for me just a panic attack, but I'm like, who are you? What do you want to do to me? Are you going to be concerned about me? Are you going to be concerned about my presence? Do I talk too much? I was so silent because they felt that I knew too much. But largely, like I said earlier, I'm a logical person. So I spend enough ample time reading, learning, getting information. So I feel that if you do not have time to do that as a woman, that is not my problem. I want to evolve, so I am extremely informed and pay attention to myself. So I wanted to structure things basically about my journey. And I started out so well again, but this time I was not vulnerable. I wanted to be sure that I know you to the extent to be able to trust you, because that was my first call. If I meet someone, I want to trust you. I want to know you. I want to know more about you and tell you the need to help another. So when it was difficult for me to find someone to trust, so I had to trust myself again so that I can heal and be able to live to help others. Today, I have come to realize the depth of my makeup and the purpose of my strength. And sincerely, I still have concerns with women and women around me because the story hasn't changed till now. But the focus is different. It's now a tunnel vision to do what I think God has brought me here to do. So with a deeper study, I realized that the frameworks of women is beautiful, but it's drawn so much about emotions that we've not been able to consider our strength, our power, the joy of another, how to confidently appreciate other women like us and see them grow, and truly not just have the hashtags of women supporting women, but truly meaningfully, you understand the worth, you carry the worth, you embrace the worth, you support the worth, and you want to do so much more for yourselves. Today, some women get erased a little bit at a time, some all at once. While some reemerge, every woman who reemerges wrestles with the force that would have her diminished again. Because truly, every time, I'm speaking to every woman in this room, if you feel it's time for you to grow, you might have to check your circle. Because most of the time, who you are is different from who you were, rather, is different from who you are now. And who you are becoming is not always appreciated by the people in your circle, because there are two different categories in your circle in your lifetime. So these kinds of women struggle with the forces that will rather tell themselves the stories of their life. There's always this endless quest for equal rights and the pressures society burdens her with. To every woman in this room, you are phenomenal. But what I want to make you realize that we can talk so much about the pain, we can talk so much about the toxic issues we have in our life, but the true purpose of every woman starts for herself first. And it's first about you before it becomes about someone else's. I do not also want to neglect every man in this room. I appreciate and love you all. But I believe the ability to tell my story today is already a victory and already a celebration, because I feel I'm just not ready for purpose, but this will be what I'll live the rest of my life for. And in order to find a sense of myself and yourselves today amidst this present time in our communities, I believe it's time to activate these lives, these beautiful women, these great women like myself, and tell a different story about our journey. The Women of Valor is a nonprofit 501c3 organization with a mission to advance the well-being of the female gender and to empower these women. As we respond to the present chaos and challenges in our communities, we are committed to supporting women in the city levels and at county levels. And I believe we'll do just that, because when I get to work, I really mean work. We have the plan to rehabilitate these women. I like the word Ms. Ruth Howard mentioned, the underserved populations, the low-income communities in Maryland, the people that want to say so much but do not know how to say just one line of a sentence. We also want to educate these women. We want to create crisis and stabilized housing, vocational training, coaching and mentoring, support employment, life skill training, and more. In line with the purpose of this vision, we are certain that we will help to support and to contribute to the development of these communities, which means there will be 6 categories. I'll try to mention all of them. There will be decrease of suicidal thought and patterns. I like the way Diana narrated about the works of patterns. There will also be decrease in violence. There will be support minorities and to support low-income communities. We will help in the sustainability of women integrating back into their communities. Let me stop there for a second and just want you to reimagine this happening to you. There are set women that have been to jail, right? And maybe while they were in jail at that particular point, you and I know what an iPhone 12 looks like right now. They have no idea of what that looks like. And they come back into this community trying to reintegrate, and it's not the world they are familiar with. They have concerns doing it. And I feel that if we are not careful, we can almost be judgmental of them. But the honest truth is that you really can't tell the reason why they are there. So instead of judging them, we want to be set apart as a set people that want to just see the need to show love empathy, joy, and increase their sense of well-being. So we want to help this set category. I'm so passionate about that, and I wanted to say that, because that will definitely mitigate the risk of going back to the world they are familiar with. Also, we want to offer help to women needing support at all levels. And I believe I cannot do this alone. I also want to stop here for a second. I need everyone to know this afternoon that I've come to realize that the journey I'm in will outlive me. So I've had beautiful pronunciation about my name, Tenny Holler, Tenny Holler. You will hear that for a long time. But I do not want to start this course with the imagination of being the set leader. I want to call myself the servant leader. So I can come here looking so glamorous, tell me I look so beautiful, and afterwards set out and be that one seated with that person in Baltimore seated, feeding them, clothing them, giving them a warm hug, telling them about the journey of purpose and how they can become the best versions of themselves. And so that's what you see about me. So be careful when next you see me, you might just see me serving the street. Now, I want to involve everyone in this particular journey. There is no better time than now to activate and support the female gender at all levels, especially in the city and the counties. And so to do this, we need your support, mindfully, cooperatively, and financially. And as I round off, I believe that success happens when preparations meet opportunity. And so to say that we have partners, I think I have Emerge Baltimore represented today. They are a mental health organization as much as Advantage Network. We have training facilities that we've been able to put in place to journey along with us at the Women of Valor. Now, during preparation with my team to create this activation plan, I sensed the need to initiate a work plan for all participants. I'm going to make sure my introduction video is showed one more time because I had to write a book to crack the code of survival. Now, that is important to me because I love women, but I need to get to work with women who really want to work for themselves and who want to, build themselves to that significant woman they've lived to envy, they've lived to hate, they've lived to have concerns with. I was speaking to Diana yesterday, and we talked about the voice of competition. When you find a woman worthy of a call, the only thing that comes to your mind is the fact that we complement each other. There is no envy. There is no rivalry. There are no commitments to other thought. It's largely because I am black, she is white, but we are not we don't have any concerns with ourselves. What matters most is that we see ourselves as humans wanting to build and build for the greater good of ourselves. So this morning, I want to ensure that everyone sees. I hope, do you have the introduction video now? And once I'm done, you're going to see it. But I journaled a code which will crack the code of survival. And I feel and know for sure that it is time for many women to have significance. And sometimes for the light to come into something, there has to be a crack, an opening. And God may give us not, but He needs us to crack them to enjoy their benefit. And several women around us are waiting for that crack, that opening to survival and relevance. So today, I wish that those three ladies realize that they didn't just create the hut, but I can learn from it and make sure that women like myself out there are honored for who they are, their brilliance, and their well-being. Also, I'm ready to lead the drive to create these openings for women, and I'm willing to take others on the journey with me. So I implore you all to support the Women of Valor to build a future-forward female in this generation. Thank you all for being a part of this. I recognize your value, Miss Bonnie. I appreciate you. Diana, thank you so much. I think I have my chambers represented here. God bless you, Alex. If Emily's here, I can't see, but I want to make sure you all are appreciated. To my team, I do appreciate you. And to the poet, that was phenomenal. Thank you guys, I appreciate you. Who else is here? Anyone in the room, I really can't see. I have my team here. Thank you so much for, the love you guys have for humans before being a part of the team. I also have my best friend here, which for a long time I've had concerns with trusting people. But I married a man that I trust so much. So thank you, God bless you for being here. I'm happy that we're working the journey of purpose together. So I'm gonna ask for someone greater than me to take the lead. And his name is Jesus. Thank you and good morning.
The Women of Valor was founded to advance the well-being of women in the society, and the main generalization and assumption is that historically and culturally, women have been socialized to fill subordinate and restricted roles. Now, these stereotypes about women persist in most social settings, strongly and even decisive influences in the values of both women and men. We believe the involvement and innovative programs oriented by the Women of Valor to lead new experiences and in a more meaningful pattern through heightening the awareness to a more expansive commitment and empowerment. We believe womanhood is set for a positive change. Through research, 51.6% of Marylanders are women and girls, 49% of the state's workforce are women, 20.5% Maryland women experience rape in their lifetime, and 29.1% of single female headed houses live in poverty. 69% of Maryland's domestic violence victims are women, while Maryland's women's social and economic status indicates staggering analysis. To capture these factors, it is evident that economic growth without investment in human development is unsustainable and unethical. It is also said that a modern society is built upon two things: truth which is discovered and innovation which is created, which highlights that love and work are the cornerstones of our humanness. To advance the well-being of our communities and the society as a licensed charity and non-governmental organization, we need a mobilized help to provide a better means of effecting personal and social change. I believe changes are products of intensive efforts, and through testimonials, we have recorded hundreds of families from our social impact. And to do more and effectively change lives to help women gain control over capital and rise out of poverty, we need your support to use time creatively in the knowledge that the time is always right to do that which is right. I invite you to rise up and demand changes for our fellow humans. If I'm to ask you, what are you doing for others? While you're thinking about that, I invite you to collaborate with our team at the Women of Valor today. Learn more about us and the plans on becoming a partner. To work for the common good is your greatest creed. Give a little, help a lot. My name is Teniola. I founded the Women of Valor to advance the well-being of the female gender.
Tenny Urla is the founder and executive director of the Women of Valor, a community-driven nonprofit organization dedicated to enriching, enlightening and empowering women. She is a holistic health and wellness counselor, who presently leads the strategic direction and overall operations of the WOV's mission globally. Prior to this existence, she has served as the Director of Red Ocean Support Services and the Managing Director of iSpy Services for Consulate Generals of Denmark Embassy. In this dual role, she led a successful strategic alliance program and managed international relations, including developmental experiences across the board. Since 2004, she has maximized her potential for building a brand, providing interagency communications and collaborations by mastering the core of strategic outreach as a central resource. She ventured into hospitality, where she also managed the hospitality and logistics arm for the consulate at Denmark Embassy and several other multinationals and conglomerate. Tenny Urla has vast experience in event organizing and has created several outreaches to create commercial interest for organizations. She organized and executed high-level visits for ambassadors in the West Africa region for years. She has a high sense of responsibility and the ability to set the right strategies in place to win. She excels at translating technical information into clear choices and recommendations that can be understood, which evolves into leading workforce planning, development and organizational transformation projects. She is the co-lead at the Good Life Church, serving and bringing hope to the community and the world at large. Amidst all, she is the convener of the I Pray movement, a movement created to drive the right attitude holistically. Tenny Urla is a wonderful public speaker presenting workshops for both professional and personal groups. She is birthing a vision to activate women for growth through the Activate 300 program. She initiated a work plan toward this for all participants. Introducing Crack the Code, Activate, a 10 days challenge for growth and execution.
heart, it has to be with passion, and it has to be believable. So when you have the opportunity, and let me say this to you, you always have an opportunity to tell your story. There is no one that you meet today who wouldn't like to have the opportunity to know what you do. It's so easy to be a servant leader. That is why we are here. So always know that you have the wonderful experiences of that story. It changes. It definitely changes. But certainly add to the story, but be willing to share it with everyone that you meet. And you will know that those people, if they can't today write you a check, maybe next week they'll show up with 3 bags of food. And that's how our organization exists. We've been around for over 40 years. And we have had some very lean times this past year and a half where no one came that whole week and brought any food. But we were fortunate enough to find some other resources. The county, the state, both of those came through for us. But I can tell you it's not easy. You do have to go out. And I think as women, we have the opportunities to see and to meet some of these resources head on. And I have been fortunate. I have met some wonderful people who I have shared my story with. And they have been more than willing to continue to support us. And I want to say in your fundraising, you want to always know that you're looking for consistent people who will join you. And this is one of the things that I know that Teniola and I have talked about. You just don't want to have one time people coming in your door and saying, gee, I like what you do, and I'm happy to support you. You want people to know and live that story with you. And you want them to consistently come back and share the good. And this is why we are able to sustain, because we have those people in the community. We have those people who are business leaders. We have people that own restaurants that understand that the only way that we're going to be able to serve these people and provide food for them, or electric for them, or eviction money for them, is if they support us. So continue to tell that story. Make sure that it's with passion and compassion, and you will do very, very well. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
and to do more and effectively change lives to help women gain control over capital and rise out of poverty, we need your support to use time creatively in the knowledge that the time is always right to do that which is right.
Poetry performance. The first one we saw earlier was very powerful. Again, the poems are narrated from a beautiful book called Black Fairy Tales by Chin Yor Wright. The original poems by poet Tanisha R. Brown, production manager India Palmer, and producer Kaloni Lipford. Ladies, the stage is yours.
Boy into a savior in our streets faster than the speeding bullet, supernaturally dodging those speeding bullets, all while carrying his youth on his back. With their tiny hands clasping onto his neck like a soaring brown cape.
I never believed in magic until I saw my cousin transform into a crackhead. I grew up reading of the fairy dust that seemed to shoot off the wands of witches and fairy godmothers. Now, I wondered if the white stuff that bounced off the black sticks had been cracked. As I watched what had been our city's Cinderella transform into someone wearing rags, holding a glass pipe like a glass slipper, face covered in dirt before midnight, her neck and wrists once covered in pearls, now she walks the streets, the collector of a different white rock, wearing clothes, scraps, 4 times her size, or maybe her body had shrunk. She was now one of Snow White's favorite dwarves, kneeled at half her size, top of her head facing some strange man's waist. My friends told me one day when I wasn't prepared that she would do anything for a hit of the pipe. I remember how fast she used to walk. Up and down the street, hands filled with stolen CDs for resale, carrying them up and down the block, swinging them like dumbbells. The way she used to hold her school books years prior. I never believed in magic until I saw our street's evil white queen cast a spell on her. There is no ghost scarier than crack. Once it possesses your loved one. When you commit suicide, you create a 6-foot wide mural of your dead self on the inside of your relative's head. Our memory of you is never the same.
Every scene we see of you from that point on is you killing yourself from different angles. Every memory is framed with a noose we weren't able to loosen for you. Your pictures mock us. The smiles now look like crime scenes. Each photo of you looks like a cry for help we couldn't answer. We notice the sadness in your eyes too late. So we lay the portraits face down in the den or under the bed. I know guilt probably doesn't stop someone from killing themselves, but just in case it does.
Held him and his friends tight in his palms like a poker player holds his pairs. And late at night, it's like our block takes a stage and says to death, pick a card, any card. Death plucked Jack from his deck. It's all hood entertainment. We call it black boy magic. 1 minute our black teens are here laughing with us, and then they disappear. Lives sawed in half. Their sagging jeans look like magician's robes, and bullets kissed our princes and transformed them into corpses. Black boy magic. The shows are so sold out and so commonplace that people don't even bother to look up from their phones to see the souls leave their bodies. Our streets feel like an enchanted, haunted forest. We all feel wrapped up in a black sorcerer's cape. And if you look up, you can see the black boy spirits flying above the city like black wizards on broomsticks. And I stand here reciting these words, trying to break the hex of this black boy magic. Black boy magic, black boy magic, black boy magic, black boy magic. I knew a black little boy. I knew a black little boy. I knew a black little boy. He died tragically. I knew a black little boy. He did even live to 17.
My sisters, they look up to me. They always jokingly tease me, they say, because I'm college educated and I articulate that I talk white. They seem to believe because I work in an office that I got my shit together. They get a good old laugh when sometimes I know the ratchet songs, and because I write poems. You see, where I am book smart, they are street savvy and fashion forward. I wear mom jeans and enjoy live theater, so we really couldn't be more different. But my sisters, they look up to me. My father has 6 daughters, 3 of whom have had breasts fondled before full bloom, deflowered unwillingly in the living room. The living room of home. Home is where the heart is. Home is where the hurt is. Where there is no witness, it did not happen. At least not the way she said it did. One of my sisters, her name is Nefertiria. Like the Egyptian queen Nefertari, equally regal and rough around the edges, she has as many layers as she has letters in her name, but she is solid, and she is beautiful. Like a mosaic made up of brokenness, pieces of brokenness, shards of the violence, both sexual and domestic, but she carries on so majestically. Thank God we don't look like what we've been through. My sisters, they look up to me, and for the life of me, I cannot understand why. When the true strength is in the heroism that it takes to wake up every day and face the demons who want to remind you of the things that we don't discuss in black households. The strength it takes to not only survive, but to thrive. So give yourselves a round of applause for being women of valor.
Wow. You want to come? Please. Please celebrate Kaloni with me. She's the producer for the poem. I appreciate you. You have something to say?
Hello, everyone. Yes, my name is Kalani, and I did have the huge honor to help Miss Tinney here with the fundraiser. And what I would like to do is just take the time to share with you the reason of why we chose the art that we shared with you today. I believe that in order for you to truly impact or empower or to activate or to make a difference, you have to walk in your truth, and you cannot be afraid to walk in your truth. And we can't censor it. We have a tendency of being scared to tell our truth or tell our story because of shame or embarrassment, as if the person next to me or in front of me haven't experienced the same thing. So I just wanted to say one thing. We always talk about changing the world, right? But if we realize that the world isn't Africa, it's not Antarctica, it's not Virginia, it's not DC, it's right here, right in front of you. Whoever you're looking at right now, that's your world. And if you're able to impact that person, then you are part of changing the actual world. So I just want you to be very mindful of that and be sure that you have others back. So if I'm staring right at you, Miss Diana, I'm looking behind you. I have your back. I'm going to let you know what's behind you. I'm going to let you know if you're about to fall. I'm going to be truthful with you. And I hope that you do the same to me, because I can't see behind me. And that's what the world is. Person behind you or behind you, in front of you, side. God is up here. Don't look down. You'll be okay. Thank you.
Woo. Goodness gracious. You understand, right? I'm speechless. So, guys, that was good. I want to take this moment to celebrate Kaloni. And she didn't ask for this, but she is beautiful. And when I say beautiful, I mean from here. She is one human that has, I call her a resource center because that's what she is. And I just want to take a moment to celebrate you from my heart, because truly you are a beautiful black woman. God bless you. And in light of that, thank you. Celebrate her on my behalf. Nothing liberates our greatness like the desire to help and the desire to serve. And also, I want to describe what a feminist is. She's anyone who recognizes the equality and full humanity of women and men. So the narrative has been that we've been hyper-segregated. I stand here before you today as the lead and the pioneer of the Women of Valor. There is no white and there is no black. We are one, and that's what we are leading with. And also, I think I have to read the Black Fairies, just so that you have information about history, right? And what has been, so that when you're trying to prefer solutions to these communities, these people, you want to feel their pain. You want to know where they're coming from. Because I want to make sure that the audience today doesn't have concerns with what you've listened to. It's not coming from a place of hate. It's not coming from a place of fear. It's coming from a place for you all to know what has been, what it still is and how we want to change the narrative. So I say here, I mean that to say that it's time for change, and it's time to execute that very well. And also, there are 3 phenomenal things we want to start with at the Women of Valor to reach these women, to rehabilitate these women, and to repackage them. Those 3 things matters to me, because if I want to be reached, I want to reach you from the place of love. I want to extend warmth to you. I need you to realize that I might not have walked your past, but I'm now in your present. And as I lead you through to the future, I want to feel every part of it. And I like the way Kaloni iterated these things. She said it from a place of, this is who I am. I have nothing to hide. I just want you to see me for who I am. And if you see me first for who I am, maybe it will change the structural ideas of how you see me just a little bit different. So I want to make sure that you all know what we are faced with, how bad it is. We had the president of the Women Commission, for those that came late, came in, and she said I wanted her to really take time to research, in which she did justice to right, and so that you might just have an idea of how bad things are. The ideology of every man that survives is that I have my family, I have my children, I have my partner, or I have my significant partner. And so we live life to the extent at which that's all we care about. What about your neighbors? What about the communities you are located in? There is a lot more. In 2019, I think what was researched was that about 8,000 Miss Bunny commit suicide. And in 2020, till this very date, we've had that number triple. So imagine that people deliberately feel that there is no more reason to live. I think the best option for me is to take my life. And if you see through these lenses, it's not because that was the only option they had. It's largely because someone somewhere didn't just notice the fact that that was the only option they had and they were going to take. So today I stand in front of you with so much joy on my inside, because I believe that this is what I was created for, and I'm just not doing this alone without you all, and I'm asking that you help us to reach these women, to rehabilitate these women, and to repackage them. And one thing matters to me: you will be building female forward leaders starting from now. So the activation begins now. We're going to wrap this up in another 5 minutes, I guess. And what can I say? Thank you all for coming. I appreciate you all, from Miss Diana for flying from Miami. God bless you. Miss Bonnie, you're truly a good mentor. Thank you. To everyone in the room, you all matter. And if you think about me, just pray for me, because I'm ready to go to work. God bless you.
Wow, we have come to the close of this amazing event. I want to just take this opportunity to thank you again for being here. Thank you to our beautiful guest speakers. Thank you to the vendors. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, Ms. Teniola, for the opportunity to go on this journey with you. We really, really appreciate it. You didn't have to take us so long. You could stay in your office and just share with your immediate family, but you're taking us on this journey, and you're stretching us. And that's a good thing, to be around people that stretch you, that challenge you to think that there is more out there, and there's more that we can do, and we can do so much more together. So Activate 300 is live, yes, and we're all going to get to work. So we are so excited about this, and I want us to know that we're going to take some time to take official pictures. So please don't run to your cars. Official pictures, networking. If you didn't grab something to eat or drink earlier, please do so. Thank you so much, everyone. This has been such an honor to be in the same room with you all. I can't wait to smile and to get to meet some more people that I didn't meet earlier. Thank you. God bless you all.
How do I describe myself? I would say a good Samaritan or a generous being. I'm just bluffing. All of this describes me though and many more. I have an active belief on the value placed on human lives. I practice its cause in order to improve the conditions of humanity for moral, altruistic, and logical reasons. And honorably, I'm a woman who embraces the concept of caring as my highest calling. The Women of Valor was founded to advance the well-being of women in the society, and the main generalization and assumption is that historically and culturally, women have been socialized to fill subordinate and restricted roles. Now, these stereotypes about women persist in most social settings, strongly and even decisive influences in the values of both women and men. We believe the involvement and innovative programs oriented by the Women of Valor to lead new experiences and in a more meaningful pattern through heightening the awareness to a more expansive commitment and empowerment. We believe womanhood is set for a positive change. True research, 51.6% of Marylanders are women and girls, 49% of the state's workforce are women, 20.5% Maryland women experience rape in their lifetime, and 29.1% of single female headed houses live in poverty. 69% of Maryland's domestic violence victims are women, while Maryland's women's social and economic status indicates staggering analysis. To capture these factors, it is evident that economic growth without investment in human development is unsustainable and unethical. It is also said that a modern society is built upon two things: truth which is discovered and innovation which is created, which highlights that love and work are the cornerstones of our humanness. To advance the well-being of our communities and the society as a licensed charity and non-governmental organization, we need a mobilized help to provide a better means of effective personal and social change. I believe changes are products of intensive efforts, and through testimonials, we have recorded hundreds of families from our social impact. And to do more and effectively change lives to help women gain control over capital and rise out of poverty, we need your support to use time creatively in the knowledge that the time is always right to do that which is right. I invite you to rise up and demand changes for our fellow humans. If I'm to ask you, what are you doing for others? While you're thinking about that, I invite you to collaborate with our team at the Women of Valor today. Learn more about us and the plans on becoming a partner. To work for the common good is your greatest creed. Give a little, help a lot. My name is Teniola. I founded the Women of Valor to advance the well-being of the female gender. How do I describe myself? I would say a good Samaritan or a generous being. I'm just bluffing. All of this describes me though and many more.